With a reputation damaged by years of violence and drug trafficking, Colombia is a country that's culture has been largely underappreciated outside of the northwest corner of the continent of South America. When someone thinks of Colombian music, they probably think of Shakira, or maybe Carlos Vives. If they are a little more familiar with Latin music, they might think in terms of genres such as cumbia, salsa, and vallenato. While the islands of Cuba, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic share the reputations of being the godfathers of Afro-Latin music, with Cuba taking the lion's share of the credit, Colombia has a deep and rich history of folkloric as well as new music. Known as the land of 1,000 rhythms, Colombia is home to over 1,025 folkloric rhythms. So, how did Colombia get from the traditional Gaiteros to Cali flow Latino? And Mr. Black. Like most Latin American countries, the culture of Colombia is a fusion of the native, African, and European cultures that have called Colombia home for over 500 years. Colombia is well known for its many different accents and dialects of the Spanish language, and the same factors that have created this wide array of linguistic differences have also acted as an incubator for an equally wide array of musical styles. Colombia is a country with a great deal of biological and geographical diversity. These differences between the different regions of Colombia not only created the environments for unique cultures to emerge, but also helped to preserve the unique attributes of each region's folkloric influences. With many of the cities and regions being separated by the three cordilleras of the Andes, along with a history of civil wars, travel was extremely difficult for people living in early Colombia, and isolation of the different regions was very common. When looking at the music and culture of Colombia, it's important to understand that the countries of Colombia, Panama, Venezuela, and Ecuador were all part of one entire state, along with parts of Peru and Guyana known as Gran Colombia. Because of the sheer size of the predecessor to modern-day Colombia, the culture and music is not limited to the borders of the country. Colombia can be divided into 6 main cultural regions based on geography. These regions all share parts of their culture with their neighbors, and at times it can be hard to distinguish Colombian music from Peruvian, Ecuadorian, Panamanian, and Venezuelan. The Caribbean region, which is located on the coast of the Caribbean Sea, includes the cities of Cartagena, Barranquilla, and Santa Marta, as well as the interior communities of Valledupar and San Basilio. It is the home of cumbia, champeta, porro, and vallenato. Also living within the Caribbean region are other folkloric rhythms such as the bullerengue, mericumbe, mapale, son palenquero, and many more. Being a part of the Caribbean, traditional music from this region has seen some of the most influence on their culture from the islands of Cuba, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic, as well as Jamaica. Stretching from the most southwestern point of Panama to the northwestern border of Ecuador, the Pacific region is home to some of the largest Afro-Colombian populations in the country. Some parts of this region consist of areas where more than 82% of the population is of African descent, and it shows in the cultural landscape. It includes the communities of Quibdó, Buenaventura, Timbiqui, and Cali. Though Cali is technically in the Andes, it can be argued that their culture is far more Pacific than Andean due to the migration of Afro-Colombians to seek a better economic future. The landscape in the western portion of the country left it isolated from the interior until the modern era, which has led to a distinctly Afrocentric culture. The signature instrument of the region is arguably the Colombian Marimba, which originates from the African balafon. Here you can find the iconic styles of music of curulao, and chirimia. Also in this region are the juga, bambuco viejo, salsa choque, as well as the chacuano variations of bunde, calypso, contradanza, jota, porro, tamborito, and polka. The Andean region of Colombia is the most populated area of the country. Here you can find the cities of Bogota, Medellin, Bucaramanga, and Cali, which, as I mentioned earlier, could be argued to be a part of the Pacific culture. Being the most populated area in the country, this tends to be the region where European influence on the culture is the strongest. The most popular style of folkloric music here is the bambuco. It is also home to styles such as pasillo, merengue bambucao, jaino, and the sanjuanero. Otherwise known as the Eastern Plains, the Orinoquia region shares a significant portion of its culture with Venezuela. This is most evident by the musical style joropo, which is synonymous with Venezuela, but can also be heard throughout Colombia, especially in Villavicencio. Most of the music in this region is centered around harps, guitars, and the maracas llaneros. Some of the other genres that exist in this area are the cachicama, guacharaca, and the zumba que zumba. The Insular Region consists of islands in the Caribbean Sea such as San Andreas and Providencia, as well as islands in the Pacific Ocean such as Gorgona and Malpelo Island. Here you can find the typical Caribbean rhythms of calypso, soca, and reggae. As well, you can find the Colombian approach to the Jamaican mento, the Polish mazurka, the Bohemian chorische, the French quadrille, and the foxtrot. And finally, the Amazon region, which, as you can guess, is the region of the country that belongs to the Amazon rainforest. As you move into this region, you'll begin to find music and culture that is shared between Colombia, Bolivia, Peru, and Brazil. Here you can find rhythms such as the lambada, and the huayno. As well, you can find rhythms and dances from the indigenous groups such as the Toba and the Tucano. As you can see just from this short video, the variations on Colombian music are seemingly endless. Each new music combines the history of multiple cultures and rhythms to create something new and meaningful to those who call it their own.
Hey everyone, I'd just like to say thanks for taking the time to watch my first video. I want to apologize for my first video being so late. I had some issue with video and audio and it took a bit longer. It's my first video, so kind of underestimate how much work it is to put one of these together. In future videos, I'm going to be talking a little more about some of the iconic rhythms that I mentioned in this video, and I'll also be giving lessons on how to play the music on different percussion instruments as well as guitar, piano, bass, and really anything else you can play this music on. And if you're looking for instruction on other styles of music, don't worry. In time, I'm also going to be doing videos and lessons on the music of Peru, Puerto Rico, Cuba, and anything else I'm able to put some materials together for. I hope I see you again.